I'd say keep on the lookout for the young man in Refresh. Certainly a player to keep your eyes on. Now, Heroic and Astralis, full of those, both camps even. We're going to be jumping into Nuke, and we're going to find out which one of these Danish teams can beat the other one. Do it, Chad and Alex.
Thank you very much, gents. We will. Yes, Astralis undefeated so far at the RMR, but it was the Movistar Riders and Endpoint. Heroic did slip up against the Sinners, and Heroic not only having the choice between Inferno and Nuke, they opted to start on the T side with the one knife, so they must have something in store for us here, and here they come into the top side. Cadian has a real trouble finishing off Zipex, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Lucky through lobby. Has taken some space, maybe a 2v4 shaping up for him and Magisk, but that fight from Refresh seals the deal. Heroic starting on that T side, Chad, an active decision, and not only that, but converting that T pistol.
Yeah, it's best of one. You get to set the pace a little bit more so here on this T side, and you might even get to take this away from Magisk here. That $300 kill would be nice. There's got nothing else for him to really hold on to here. No armor to his name. He goes on down, gets a kill for himself, and there are the Julies on top of the hut. So a great start, and I really want to hone my focus in for Heroic in this matchup just to see if the reactions that they get away with online, you know how quick they are to maneuver. Cadian makes a call, everybody's reacting, they're down the vent, they're up the vent, they're running around the map. I want to see if those level of reactions are on point on LAN, right? Because that was an issue for them in Cologne. It didn't seem to be the case. Felt that they were a little bit flatter as far as all that went. Oh, interesting. Smoke dropped just there outside of the lobby. And over towards Ramp we go on Shush. He was one of the highlight players in Cologne for me, and that Heroic roster at least.
Oh, don't forget about Refresh's ridiculousness as well. No one has quite broken Liquid's hearts in recent memory more than Refresh.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want to say this, I'm going to say this. The tag that Refresh kind of needs to shake is the onliner one. Right? Because what he did to Liquid was online. When he was at LAN, he wasn't much chop, right? And if he can continue to have good games in the best of one, especially when all of Denmark's eyes are on this game right here.
Hi, Denmark, by the way. Good to see you.
This would be a very good time to do exactly that. So lots of space taken here. Cadian already down towards the ladder base. The hell position his. Toes spotted.
His toes, yeah. Dupree gets tickled. And they've returned for the top take. Spotting out that vent player. Magisk is playing a dangerous game tucked into that vent, perhaps hoping to have the element of surprise as he pops out on some util. And there's the supportive smoke. He does swallow the flash. And Heroic, they don't have to commit to this. Still a couple of Molotov smoke and a flash. Could lead them towards that top site.
Bubsky's lower. He has a smoke right now for the CT, so he knows he's not going to be in the right place at the right time. He's actually already deployed that over towards Ramp. Right now, 30 seconds. Yeah, they need to get a wriggle on.
Really do. And Magisk has done well to post one, but in they come. Zipex checked. Tessus provides the double entry, and they are in. Dupree's not going to have much impact here. The vents as well should be watched. A warning shot from Bubsky, not going to get them far. And it looks like Astralis residing themselves to the save. Heroic, that's 2 successful rounds converted with a top plant.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. So a little bit calmer in round number 2. No pacey maneuvers like we just saw on round number 1. But for Heroic here, this would be great, right, to get this win on LAN, obviously. After dropping that game to Sinners yesterday, they need that. You want to be getting yourself through to the playoffs. So there's just, look, we can go through the nitty and the gritty. I can give you the easy way. If you want to see your team at the major, you want to see them at the playoffs of IEM Fall, win your games. All right, it's a simple one. It is one of the hardest ways to get there, but it is the simplest of the methods. Now, carrying across 2 Deagles and a Scout, not too shabby here. Did Lucky find a Deagle in all of his movements to carry on through? I'm just having a look in game. No, it's just the USP. So he won't be able to drop one of those across to his teammates, and no other rifles being able to get scavenged during all of that. So should just be a conservative investment here. Wouldn't be expecting Astralis to be putting too much behind this one. Maybe a couple more smoke poured on up. Just going to treat himself to another Deagle there. And let's see if they can do it again. For Heroic, it's just about steadying early. Get yourself the 3, the lovely conversion after the pistol and the force by wind. That's a good way to start setting a good base here with on that T side. Yard smokes deployed. A bit pacier this time round. Refresh behind the red crate. Smoke wall. Sound cues made, and actually no threat posted down towards Secret here. Looks like they want to pivot back over towards main or this yard position. Right now, they're hoping to force the CTs around the map, having to respect that, dropping players towards that B bomb site, but nobody has moved for Astralis right here, right now. Tess is ready with the credit card molly, and it looks like they're going to clamp down on top site pretty quickly here.
Interesting. So an unbreakable smoke, a molly credit card, and in. Bubsky, first shot shy, and really struggling now. Tagged up and body bagged up. Gets something out of Dupree. He'd need another. And his deagle is potent, but not quite today. Magisk still on the heaven position. The Molotov should solve any form of threat. Yeah, something out of Lucky. Does punish Cadian with his scout on Galil action. And there you have Heroic with a full 3-0. So really justifying this T-start, and you said setting the pace, especially in a best of one. If you can set that bar unobtainably high with a solid T-side, you've just put the whole Nuke game, that best of one, this Danish derby in your back pocket with the hard side first.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago when we would talk about Astralis, I know the roster's much different now, they would be used to starting on the T-side of Nuke. They would be the ones who are going to get to exactly what Heroic can do here. And I would always say you'd want to limit Astralis to, I think it was 6 T rounds or less. So let's see how many Heroic can post on the board. Obviously, there's been a bit of a changing of the guard in Danish Counter-Strike in recent times. Plus all that other fun drama.
Oy, oy, oy. Cadian is in trouble. He uses the smoke of that Molotov to try and retreat. Magisk too wise to his tricks, and that was a T-side AWP, if I'm not mistaken. Gone in the opening 20 seconds. Disadvantage for them to overcome now. Cadian, admittedly, the in-game leader, can pull the strings from his deathbed. And already some very good util out of Astralis. They've got a firm understanding of what's coming, but
careful here.
Magisk, he hears the util, swallows the flash. It was a well-placed one, and it's given him a way back into the site. The avenue's open, Chad. And now all onto these exchanges. Lucky, Molotov out of position, has to respect it. The bomb to be planted, and a 3-on-3.
That's the Heroic I remember right there. Into the smoke, the flash, and they go. Great little punish onto Magisk right there, and now they set themselves in the 3-and-3 post-plant.
Oh, and a gap in the smoke. You'd think that was an advantage Testis, but Dupree's thrived. Bubsky puts his name in the feed, and poor Shush, he doesn't really have the health for this. Lucky's likely to clear him. Bubsky and Dupree working on this window side. Loud about this. Oh my. Time's on his side. Time is on his side. He takes down Lucky, no kits. A flash, one more kill is all he needs. Loses his head. It's going to be very, very close. Bubsky has managed to recover the kit and the defuse just in the nick of time. Astralis, good fragging. Dupree, a big part of that. And I have to say, the flashbang they deployed there, it didn't get stuck in the pipe deliberately to flash someone at that Z-axis that Magisk was on. Very cool. You see it pretty standard in today's flight paths, but you could see how close this one came. 3-on-3 until Dupree arrived.
Yeah, I think as soon as this one happens, right, there's too many problems to worry about here. Bubsky able to find that gap. Stown goes down, and the link of the chain falls apart right there. So 3-1, and they're on the board, but back into the buy and refresh into a MAC-10. Maybe we see him a little bit quicker on this. Over towards Yard. He's going to drop that first smoke. I'll usher him across towards that T-red box. Chance to extinguish and ruin that wall of smokes. Is there a gap manufactured? It doesn't matter. Bubsky's pushing lobby in the meantime here in that space. They know that Stown likes to be the squeaky player. Information in the favor of Astralis here.
Yeah, and in our first Astralis game that we brought to this mainstream, we were observing that Bubsky does look to have a little bit more of a favorable role for his style of play in the absence of Clave. Magisk, of course, in the in-game leadership role, something he's been set up for by the org. Bubsky's gone. Good find from Tessus. Dupree's got a lovely crossfire established. It's Magisk, though, that does try and toe the line a little aggressively, and now space to plant. Oh, God, that's a really quick one out of Dupree's AK, and problems now for Heroic. They're going to have to count on Cadian. Tessus in the vent, a good smoke to buy time. They're all coming in from this lobby side, and that's a bit of util recovered from Cade. At least he'll be able to focus his attention elsewhere. Now the molly's down. Time ticking. Main smoked. Oh dear, Tessus is cooked. And I think so is Cadian. 3 bearing down on his location. Good use of their util, but he does have vision. And the lights shut out by Lucky's AWP. There you have it. 2 in response from Astralis. They get to farm some extra AKs as well for good measure.
Now, if I remember rightly, it was late last night when I was reading the tweets after the Astralis game, but I think Dupree was, happy that they were winning, but a bit disappointed in his own performances so far. Now, if Dupree can get off to a banger, look, this guy is an absolute machine. So
great shot.
Yeah, it's good shooting from him here. Nice, ready for Shush's peak on that one there, and I think humbled immediately here, Heroic. They did get that plant, right? So they can invest a little bit more than otherwise. We're going to see Tech9s come out here. A bunch of util as well. And even Kevlar for 3 of the members. Let's see how quick this can be. We know Heroic love the maneuvers over towards ramp, where they have the bunny hopping entry, the head turned down. Make them harder to hit here, but this looks pretty standard. Molly top hut. Smoke limped out towards front squeaky. That will force some respect if that vent drop is possible. Nades here, there, and everywhere, and it's going to be a top explode. They've done smokes all across the map right now.
Yeah, the Tech-9s are great at this range, but dupreeh holds his nerve and holds his spray. That's the end of that. Couple of stragglers in the form of Stown now down, and Cadian is empty. Hope, really, a Tech-9. Not going to get him far. Would love a kill. There you go. He gets it. And accepts his fate. 3-3, Astralis tie things up nicely, and yeah, Heroic, they've been testing their Astralis boys on that top site. dupreeh combines with Bubsky with a nice pair of frags each.
Yeah, it's just interesting, right? Because you're going to bring, well, you take Glaive out of the roster and you bring Zip back in. You get yourself a lovely little ramp anchor back in the mix, right? You get yourself someone who's very comfortable in those type of positions. You get your aim boys in that top site. Magic's gets to be that more floaty role. You know how we remember talking about Glaive with the one-ways and stuff? Well, Magic's going to get the opportunity to do all that stuff now. So it's a different look. It's like you can prepare for the tendencies that Astralis of old like to lay on down, but in a new constellation of players, you have to think about players like to do things a little bit differently, like timings, even the way that they throw the smokes, the different type of peaks that they're feeling comfortable deploying within a round. Cadian's gone for a Galil here, interesting enough. He had 6.1. He's gone for the Galil instead of the AK, so preserving cash for future rounds here. 2,900 is the loss bonus in the next, but let's see. Can Heroic get a round back here, a gun round. Missing so far within this first half, only 6 rounds played. Just so much util flying through the sky, and Lucky plucks Tessus off the top of the silo there, trying to drop on down, get ahead of the flash, and wow, Tessus was the one who looked blind.
Yeah, I mean, Shush did get the flash assist, so certainly did swallow it. I wonder if Lucky just a bit too far away to lose vision.
Now this is where I have problems with the Heroic of LAN, we'll call it, because they've lost a player, they have no space. How do they react? They're low on util. Traditionally, we look at this team and we think they have an answer for everything. There's always a way back in with the Heroic that we know and love. Well, is there one now?
Spoke about Magisk in secret, definitely a bit of a Glaive cosplay here, and that looks about right. Takes out 2 heads on their main progress, and he's not really slowing down either. 60-second mark reached down, and his boy Cadian working themselves into a 2v5, and Astralis won't let this slip.
Yeah, I think this one's already sealed. Look at this, dupreeh with some more aggression, another kill enters the feed, and it almost looks like a clean sweep here. This is just consolations now for Stown. Like he seems to have a decent idea of where maybe he's lingering, and they know that Stown likes to play towards the lobby, has to clear close right. He does, barrel spotted, kill comes in, and Astralis picking up some speed right now.
Yeah, you got yourself 3 AK-47s as well, that one-shot headshot, a nice bonus. Just a reminder of the top attempt. This is where Astralis' third did come in. Now stringing together 4 in a row. Heroic with 2 plants initially in this spree of losses.
Just quickly, Alex, if I was back in high school,
yeah,
my teacher would be really unhappy with this, right? Because like in this situation, Heroic, they're meant to be like the Sith. Well, they're wearing white. Astralis, they're meant to be like the Jedi. They're wearing black. We didn't do it the right way. I was taught this in school.
Symbolism.
That's the one.
Oh dear, Lucky is in trouble and somehow has gotten away with that. Good flank from Magisk. There's no better reaction than that, and I think he's got a good inkling as to where the rest may be, just sending loudly, stampeding down to the B site. No util, no util. They'd love a plant. They really would. Refresh needs to find a safe haven to do so, and I suspect at least the $800 each has been acquired. But to be fair, for Astralis, in terms of keeping it clean, if they can get this retake squeaky clean, they're going to have so much money for the rest of this first half already. Some rather full sacks of coins. Refresh looking to do some damage. Anything's good, and that is a head and an AK. Not checking, but Shush's Deeks there as well. Stown threatening as well. Bubsky does save face, save Astralis, but it's far from the clean round I was suggesting. In the magic number, Chad taking 3 rifles away, 3 on the rebuy. They'll start to whittle away. 5 though for Astralis on the trot.
Yeah, I think start is probably the key point here, right? The way that things have been going, it felt like the rounds were getting easier and easier for Astralis here. So good for Heroic to look threatening in this one. A couple of nice shots while up against it here, and that's just with the pistols. So we'll see the rifles come back out. But for me, it's going to come down to this opening move again. So the opening maneuver of Heroic has been stumped time and time again. They haven't been getting the opening kills. They haven't been getting the space they're looking for. What is that change-up going to be? And maybe it is the KD and T-side AWP. It's not often you see Zip over peak this kind of an angle here into an AWP.
Only when he's got flashbangs, and Radiant white screen, 70 health lost. I think this is going to be the round where I'm going to be intrigued to see if Heroic can do some convincing, because as you said, every round has felt easier than the last for Astralis. You got everything you could desire. Your wall of smokes has been thrown out consistently. Astralis haven't been really disrupting that. If anything, they've just been finding impact elsewhere.
It's all a bit of a ruse here, right? So the smokes will land. Vision will be obscured.
I'd love to see Magis just have a glance. It would be a very ballsy maneuver. No answers yet for Astralis. Admittedly, no sound cues, but yeah, they could be in garage. They could be sneaking down those secret stairs. Astralis stand vigilant. Lucky's been dispatched to check that out.
Well, this is an angle here, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? As soon as that sound cue is heard, as soon as anything is thrown, Dupree will start to hit that mouse one and unload the mag.
Trading.
Here it comes, lots of heads visible. First is there and now traded. Tessus unable to snap into Bubsky, does well to play the hut position, now caught out, stands in. Zipex still standing on the site, and that's the end of that. Again, Astralis, light work.
Yeah, just denied. It didn't feel difficult at all, right? The initial trade's great, but as soon as they don't get that opening kill, it all slows down, it all stalls out. And then Zipex to the rescue one more time. 11 right now for Dupree, 8 for Magis. We've got 7 in for Bubsky, so lots of individuals contributing here, and that's what you want, right? That's the recipe for success in all of this. They're scrambling, right? If they get the opening, what's going to happen there is those trades may go the other way, but here's a pace change. Door blown open. Look at all this damage that's done. They're denied in HUD again. Are they just going to stop? Yes, they are. Denied one more time. No, thank you, says Astralis. You want to come knocking on our door? We don't want any of this junk mail. Stown has been able to slip down the vent, but I'm pretty sure with all those bullets through, I think they may have noted his position. Adian wants to follow suit. He will be able to get on down the ladder and refresh as well. Okay, well, 3 of them are down the vent, but look where that bomb is. Nowhere near the lower site right now. So you got some space. You're forced to rotation, but you're operating with the key objective right now. I don't know how Stown's found himself here. This one's looking a bit strange. So down the vent, up secret, into warehouse, and now working on some ladder control. Lucky, be careful on that peak right there. Damage done, down to 16. Nade will follow, but he is swiftly dropped on down the fireman's pole. Even gets the kill, so Lucky looking great with that reposition. The bomb's finally picked on up. Maybe this one can get interesting, but we've got 45 seconds left. Heroic need to start finding something.
Oh, and that's far from something. That's nothing.
It just feels like they're always out of position. They're not looking the right way. Just getting picked apart here. And now that Cadian's down to this Mac 10, well, he's not long for this world either. Dupree steps out from his favorite little vent, grabs another kill, and he even opted just to hold on to the silenced M4 there. Didn't pick up the AK-47 that was just next to him. So he's enjoying the silencer. And I think he'll be enjoying his performance here today a little bit better. This is looking fantastic for Astralis. Loving what I'm seeing here. And we heard the conversation from the desk. Yeah, sure, Glaive's not in the server, but doesn't even seem to be a worry right now. I always think in this matchup, Astralis versus Heroic, there's always a little bit something extra in it for the Astralis players. And remember, this team, I know it's not the 5. I know Devices bailed on out, but this team, this organization right here, they've won the most majors in Counter-Strike history. They are currently the defending champions, even though it was 2 years ago.
You know, Chad, when I saw Heroic pick T-side, win the pistol and convert, I was like, oh, here we go. I really strapped myself in for the derby. But Astralis have very quickly reminded me that they're looking like a force in pursuit of attendance to a major. I mean, Astralis and major, they are typically quite synonymous in a sentence, and he's going for the glaive one way. Hasn't quite pulled it off.
He'll get there.
A little less familiar with it, but he's got some angles. And they are walking in the blind spot, so he could have a bit of a rude awakening if there's a flash, and there is.
He's all good.
Oh, okay. Dink exchange, refresh his gun is better. That is a good and well-placed smoke. Refresh is denied it, getting cocky with it. Good
Free
free
fire.
fire, and dupreeh will take a pair. 15. Not going to be dissatisfied with his individual performance today, Chad.
No, snappy reaction there as well from Heroic again. So that's what I was looking for here, but they're just getting denied, right? They're trying to take the space and they're just walking into this brick wall. This is the Astralis multi-kill defense. And now Lucky, the CT vent. This is where dupreeh's been time and time again. How many is he going to get? One. Barrel in the belly, jumping around, gets the second. Lucky looking great. And oh, even almost the third for Lucky there. Got the crosshair on point.
Maybe Stour's got something cooking here. Damn, I thought Lucky had done some ridiculousness. Looks like he's been caught with incendiary in his hands. Zipex on notice. Stown working this one out, but jumping straight into the jaws of dupreeh. He hasn't gone anywhere, and that will be his 16th. Astralis oozing with cash and confidence.
Well, we're stumped now, aren't we? There hasn't been a plant in the last 3 rounds of play. The max loss bonus has been in for quite some time now. It's hard to justify the buy, at least a full variety right here for Heroic, and this is just great. They're cleaning up the mess. Lucky almost does it all on his own.
Yeah, he did so much with that. The first, sure, that one's compulsory. The rest is just up to Lucky, and he handled that well. The movement, great to evade Shush's spray. Could have been 3.
They've actually gone AK again here on Stown, and he's just been burnt on down.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen Astralis get caught out. A quick pacey play down to the lower site. This has got legs to it. Bubsky has an opportunity to voice concerns. A quick long-range dink out of the Tessus Mac 10. That felt like a weapon much larger than that. And already the bomb down. Oh, this is great from Heroic. What a change of pace. You could see them flustered, trying to piece it together again. It comes down to Lucky, who is up close and very personal with Stown. They're actually up front. Oh, and Lucky will get the best of him. Barrel pressed into the jaw of Stown. Maybe Cadian could be next on Lucky's list. Oh! Far off. dupreeh has found one in the meantime.
He might be saving this one.
I mean, there's a kit and a smoke. Cadian's going to recover that AWP and finish off with his 3rd there. So there you go. There is something, a bit of hope for the Heroic camp.
Now, if I had this in my spreadsheet and all the lovely, beautiful columns, Heroic still haven't won a gun round, right? So they've won against the 4 spies early. They won the pistol round, and now they won a low buy with 1 AK-47 coming through. We haven't, when they have had all the guns out, seen them be able to pick up a round. Now we'll get that opportunity one more time. Back into the silent stem 4s for Astralis. Cadian carries across that AWP, but you need this one to shift right now if you're Heroic. 4, not bad. A lot more, I'm sure, was on the docket here when deciding to go T-side. More pep in their step. Tessus across, the wall smokes up, and lots of damage done. 55 HP, but that's unconfirmed.
Yeah, but Tessus, it's all about his intuition now. Does he suspect there's a rotate already? As it currently stands, this is all his for the taking. As he drops a nade, though, dropping util low side, so that's going to get them perhaps a bit concerned of the rotate, and then they come knocking on ramp. This is shaping up nicely here for Heroic. This time, Zipex has a secret weapon in the form of Lucky. It's down. Duking out with Magisk, and a snappy one from him. Bogdan's law stands true, and AWP now swapped over, and dupreeh is surely going to have a couple too many bodies on the line. 3 through the squeaky door. It's Zipex.
Down the vent.
Lucky won't be able to contest that, but the call has been made. They heard the drop, and that was a chance from Stown. Now finished off, leaving just 2. And damn, Lucky is up to snuff, isn't he? 2 flashes, peaks on the second. Cadian still trapped on that site. Lucky suspects the same. It's about to be some Dane on Dane. Zipex into the vent. I do not fancy his chances in this duel. Cadian's quick, and that's the end for Lucky. Though it did look rather flamboyant, rather impressive. He's not going to take the chances. He will play the percentages. And Heroic seems the answer has been just having a little bit more pace behind him.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, right? Tessus with all that room, but it was actually Stown there with multiple kills. He got 2 over towards that top site. Straight down the vent they call. Great little rotation from Heroic within that mid-round, so good stuff. Reacting very well once they identified that Lucky's AWP was over towards ramp and his opening kill. So really good, and that's the first gun round now, and the scoreline can tighten back up here. It's been 2 rounds on the trot, and you can see what ramifications that has on the CT side of economy quite quickly here. Zipex can get a buy going. They're dropping guns across. They are going to make this one work, but you don't want to have your economy broken on the CT side in the tail end of a half. You feel like you're drowning at that point. They lose this one, it is going to be only a very, very light loss bonus of 2,400, but it goes 2,400 either way after this one for the final round of play. Tessa's into a Mac 10 by choice. They could have gotten him an AK, so that pace you're talking about, I think we'll see more of that.
Yeah. I'm just smiling because I'm thinking about the fact that Bogdan's Law is still being referenced today. I think it's like our Counter-Strike equivalent of like Occam's razor. You know, we've got like, it's like a theory that's been long respected, long deployed, and even the professionals backing it up on a day-to-day basis. Round 14, Heroic have managed to make a competitive T-half out of this. It's all about how you finish, Chad. I don't know if you've heard that before.
Definitely so, and as long as it's strong.
Let's check it out. Lucky's been impressing me. Dupree back to his fragging ways. I think the motivation of the opponent might be a leading cause as well. Quiet start from him here at the RMR. And so we have a lot of util lined up. This is going to be heading towards the top site.
Yeah, that's the bomb box, or behind the silos within the site. There looks like a hut molly as well. Here they go. They're out.
Oof, strafing out, and the flashes were decent. Tries to isolate Bubsky, and the molly will finish the job. Delayed by that hut molly. Now, that might cause a full cancel to be called.
Look how many nades they have left. Literally 1 HE. Everything else was used there to try and facilitate that pop. So 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock right now. Heroic are going to need something brilliant, and it's going to be the focus on the frags. Have to group up and trade off of each other efficiently here. Cadian with some space towards Squeaky. Bomb as well. So down the vent, they love this. The evacuation plan.
Just because in the primo spot to deal with this, as you're worried about ramp, he can put bullets into you too. In quick succession, Lucky ready for ramp, and yeah, this is great from Astralis, reading Heroic like a book. I'm not talking June, I'm talking more like Spot the big red dog.
It's a big read.
Or Clifford, sorry.
Clifford?
Clifford was the big red dog. Spot was the dog with the spot.
Okay.
And the ball.
Yeah, he was just called Spot.
He was just called Spot.
I don't think he was like, it wasn't Spot the dog.
He did have a ball.
Spot. But did you know about Postman Pat and his black and white cat?
Absolutely. I loved a bit of Postman Pat. Was that claymation or am I tripping?
No, I don't think you're tripping.
Okay.
Well, you could be both, actually. I'm not sure.
I wish I could remember how it went. I know he had a black and white cat.
Postman Pat.
Postman Pat and his black and white cat.
I don't know the rest.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep going.
Oh, I was going to
lay down a beat, bro.
It could get going from there. We could do some Thomas the Tank Engine as well. I think Lucky probably wasn't even born when Thomas first aired.
God, no. Yeah. Well, we were born in the late 1900s, Chad.
Yes, the late 1900s. We had our armor. We were riding horses.
Back in my day, our music was on a mini disc.
We didn't have electricity. We just carried around those oil lamps. The late 1900s. You cheeky zoomers.
Cheeky zoomers.
Cheeky zoomers. At least you're getting smarter. Smarter than I was at that age. But here we go. Could be a 9-6 on the nose for Heroic here or Astralis. I feel like they deserve double digits with how good they've looked in patches for this game right here. Back in with a tidy buy, but...
Magisk playing with fire. If that smoke hadn't a bloom, Tessus would have had him dead to rights, but he's actually using it to play right there, dead in the open now. I suspect Heroic may not be prepared for this. Refresh is worried about Secret. These off angles are just so good. And there goes Tessus. Magisk denies Heroic and then some. Not only taking on the burden of leadership, but he's hitting all the shots necessary as well. Cadian looked a little threatening at the moment there, but that's going to be a 10-5 half. The bar not set so high for Astralis' T side. 6 to convert themselves the win in the derby. We'll take a quick break, come back, grab yourself a drink, and we'll be here to bring you the second half.
We played each other not so long ago online and beat them quite convincingly. And if you ask them, they'll rewind that time to Cologne and said last time it was at the studio. They beat us quite convincingly. So I think it's a 50-50 matchup. And maybe this group stage will justify who is in better shape currently. But also it's a best of one. So even if we win, I wouldn't take too much of that because I think a game like Astralis versus Heroic should be played in a best of 3 and hopefully at the major with the crowd.
I think I would be lying if I said that we were stronger than Heroic right now. I think Heroic has been the better Danish team for probably a year now, if not more. I think they are in a spot where they just thrive together, really good as teammates, seem to be pulling off some really good results. Obviously, it has been better than it is right now, and they've also had a lot of drama going around, all around them, which is probably also taking some focus away from them. But I mean, I I believe in my own abilities, but also the team's abilities. But I think it would be a shame to call Astralis better than Heroic right now. Obviously, it's a shame for me because I don't think that. I mean, like, Astralis has always been the best team in Denmark, so it's kind of a hard feeling saying that another team in Denmark is better than us. But it is what it is. I mean, like, they've deserved everything.
Sorry to disappoint, Chad. We're not getting the 5 Ts with 5 sets of util on this pistol round.
That's disappointing.
The G2 unicorn attempt from yesterday. We're not going to get that again. You can see energy's high. Look at the testosterone flowing through that Astralis room. There's a lot on the line here, and it's not just for the RMR points. Definitely some pride. dupreeh swallowing his with that statement in that interview.
Very interesting, but I would say if you're Astralis and you've just beaten them at IEM Cologne on LAN and you come in here and you beat them at IEM Fall on LAN, you're definitely the better Danish team. We can forget about those online results. LAN's what matters, and we're back here.
While your in-game leader's on paternity leave.
Yeah.
Let's go. Even trades. Long range on the Glock. Zipex looking feisty. Cadian is on notice. That lack of armor's cost him dearly, but dropping out his util in a fit of panic. And things will just peter out as they have descended those secret stairs. Rotations take shape. It's Refresh and Shush ramp side. Tessus and Cadian responsible here for the yard and top.
I wanted to say this feels like a bit of a roller coaster, you know, but it's more stop-start. This is like peak hour traffic in the rain.
Oh, that was an opportunity. It would have had to have been some perfectly placed bullets and...
Like that.
Yeah, that's one example of exactly what it could have looked like. Zipex has got the bomb and so doesn't want to be caught out losing it in an unobtainable position. Will rejoin the pack, and let's just reset. Start it off again, and Refresh is starting off with some aggressions here. You said he has been stunning, and his rise to form, certainly in the online stages, has been impressive, but doing it here at LAN is still required from him, and he's got an opportunity here to really give his team a leg up to close this gap on Astralis. A 10-5 half, 10 on the CT
Oh, he
side.
stopped looking, Alex. Out of position now.
Yeah, he's lost his power position.
They're looking the complete wrong way, actually. It feels like they're not expecting lobby at all.
They will now. dupreeh's had a bit of a mare there, and Refresh another. Even trade, bomb loose. dupreeh opens up the site. And where is Tessus? Down.
Oh, this is the worst place to retake
from. You don't
from.
want to be coming up the vent. The flash to indicate your arrival. A second flash for good measure. Here I come. Well done. Gets himself out. That's the first part. Maybe dupreeh could get snapped on. No, didn't quite clear his corners. And so Astralis taking another step, maybe even a leap towards that 16.
Yeah, they convert right here, right now, assuming Heroic goes for this force buy, and this one is looking great. Now, similar scenes as to what we saw on map number 1, series number 1, which was Big versus map number 1, best of ones, we're going to have more than one map. But with Big and FPX, it felt the same, right? We had actually very similar, right? FPX started really strong on Overpass out the gates with a pistol, right? Within the first 5 or 6 rounds of play, they were looking good, and then it really, really tapered out for the rest of the game here. Heroic looked good in an early spurt on Nuke, and well, now they've slowed right on down, and they have opted to go for that force bite. Diagonal wall of smokes landing towards Yard. Not a ruse, as Magisk will use that to get down Secret, and now they can work on clamping down through this ramp position ahead of the smoke. They are going to go, and Tessus has tested. Cadian pushed back, and this one is looking ugly.
Oh, yeah, from everyone involved. Shake it off, as Taylor Swift once said. Shout out to Tay-Tay. Good for Astralis. It's been managed. Tessus, he had so much space, but denied by Magisk. Ramp now being descended, and so Stound's the only one close.
That's the new Mac 10 if you were interested.
I need to take a closer look at that. It's kind of gangster, actually.
That's the highlight of this round, everybody. The Mac 10. I've seen a lot of the new skins. Like in that last game that I was just referencing, we had Madden dropped the Scout. It's called Turbo Peak. It's pink and it has cars on it. It looks like it was made in the 80s.
I did see that.
A bit retro.
There's an M4A1S that I hadn't seen before that does just look, personally, not my cup of tea. Looks a bit like it was designed in the 1800s or something.
Okay, well that was even before our time.
The multicolored one.
The multicolored M4A1S.
Yeah.
It looks like a bit anime-y.
I don't know. It just, yeah. I don't want to.
All right.
I don't want to.
What's subjective, right?
Exactly. I don't want to shit talk someone's hard work. So
Somebody likes it.
somebody does. It's in the game.
Well, this is real problems now, guys. I don't really want to split hairs for you here, but I don't see how Heroic are going to get back into this matchup. It's going to take quite the Heroic, pardon the pun, defense on the CT side. They have to defend now against the marauding Mac 10s and 2 Galils. A couple of light upgrades.
Yeah, Magisk's calling up a T-side here. We're going to get to see how it interacts once we get to round 19. For now, just your standard stuff. Actually throwing out a wall smoke to see if Magisk can find anything from the early aggressions. And oh, perfect. He was even anti. He read them like a bloody book again, and that's the end of Stound's aggression. Likely the end of this one as well from Heroic. They are at least contesting yard. There's still 3 members of Astralis here, and over the smoke, Tessus some significant damage. Refresh nearly taming the UMP spray. And options really limited now for Heroic. Looks like the round's going to end far away from the sights. And look at that cash in Dupree's back pocket. 22 and 6. That's quite the KD.
And the fact that they have this bonus round flawless to carry on through. They get to play now whatever type of Counter-Strike they want. Do you want to upgrade? Like you want an AWP? Or should we just rock these Mac 10s? Why the bloody hell not? You can do so many fast maneuvers. Imagine right now they just do some secret smoke walls. They get across, they get down with Mac 10s and Galils. It doesn't even matter that they don't have the AK-47s. They can do this at pace, and the smile on the face of Zonic there, the coach in the background, I think says it all. They won't upgrade anything against these 5 silenced M4s. They're just going to rush ramp.
Yeehaw! Ah, Tessus holds down mouse 1 and 3, melted. Well, that's one way to get the first gunny out the way for Heroic. Decided they are here and plan to put up a little bit of resistance. Now, how's your crosshair placement, Bubsky? You fancy... Oh, excuse me?
Oh, okay. You don't see the spam pay off too often right there, but that's actually huge, right? It notes exactly where Bubsky is, puts the 2 top defenders on high alert, allows the ramp players to play with a little bit more pep in their step. And for Bubsky right now, damage name of the game, but only 5 points of health remaining for Refresh. It doesn't matter. He gets the big prize, and that's staying alive. 13 to 6. And plenty of cash to splash right now. So look, yeah, they stopped the bonus round. It doesn't look great when they just run straight into Tessus' M4 like this, but handled, right? Handled in a big way.
Lucky T-side AWP on Nuke. And 5 M4s. If you're wondering what Heroic's choices were, looks like we've gone for the full A1S gang. Let's see how silent this round will be. Early nades deployed. Not too much action around this yard setup. You can see Cadian babysitting Stound's main hold.
Lucky is on high alert there with the AWP, right? Like, he's posted looking at places that his teammates are already covering, so they are worried about a bit of lobby aggression here. And there's no rush on this. You know the protocol nades from the CT side, the mollies towards the hunt, the smoke grenades that come on in, the early nades to slow your aggression. Wait out that. Play a bit more of an even playing field right here.
Ooh, we got some lobby aggression? No, it's still on the hut. They're actually going to boost instead. So at least gives Shush the opportunity to perhaps support should this yard contact come through. It's the right call. Shush will be in a position to support Cadian and Tessa. Stound's around as well, so Astralis smoke wall out. Trajectory implies downs in main, as does the Tracer fire. Tess is having a look over the flames and does deal with one. Good play. Early advantage found for the boys of Heroic, and if they could find one more, Astralis really are going to be struggling to do anything with this. How diligent is Dupree's clear? That is a big question in itself, and he is checking. Crouching in. Nice play from Cadian. Just weathers the spray of the AK. 10 HP to play. Just a full cancel. Zipex round red with Lucky.
Are ready for this?
Is perhaps the fly in the ointment here.
No one's looking. Oh, doesn't matter, I
Problem
suppose.
solved.
Yeah.
Problem solved, and they've just surged forward into the lobby.
Do they want to hunt here?
It's possible, isn't it? Up the T roof, it's going to be very accessible to them. I think once they get to that 10-second mark, it doesn't look like they're particularly interested. Refresh is already up.
Yeah, I think at this point we can probably call this one done. So now Heroic's starting to make a bit of a case in this map. It's been pretty flat for them up until this point. There's still enough money right now for another Astralis buy. So Heroic aren't out of the woods just yet. They haven't broken that T-side bank. One more of these and no more saves for Astralis, and they will have done exactly that. But a bit of a technical timeout called here. So you noticed this here. So there was actually 2 Molotovs over towards Secret. One was thrown a little bit deeper. Tassus waited around, and his teammates threw a molly, I believe, just in front of him. So that for the T's, it's a bit harder to keep track of. And then Tassus using that to exploit the position, dropping another one so he can't be chased on down the rabbit hole. But all good in the hood. 13-7. As we fly around Nuke, we'll remind you again, stay hydrated, guys, because I'm reminding myself. I just thought I need some water in my life.
That's a good idea.
It's a simple thing. It's like breathing through your nose.
What was the technique? Twist and pull. Twist.
Yep. Oh,
Pull.
that's violent. But we got there. We got there in the end. Now, I just want to give everybody a little bit of an update around the other matches that have been going on today. We did have that Copenhagen Flames versus G2 matchup, which was, well, it started at the same time as our opener. It didn't end at the same time by any means. Copenhagen Flames ended up upsetting G2 in overtime on Nuke. Pretty big game right there. Had 2 players on their squad with over 30 kills, so great stuff there. And yeah, Nexa had a bit of a rough one in that game. Right now as well on the B and C streams, we do have some more matches. Sinners up against Endpoint. You feel like that one is mandatory for Sinners if we want to see them coming through within the top 3 in this group. Unfortunately, if you haven't heard the storyline about Endpoint, they were going to have to play with their coach, but they ended up getting a sub in time, you know, so Miba is here to help them on out a little bit, and Complexity versus the Movistar Riders going on as well.
And just taking a quick peruse at G2 struggling against Copenhagen Flames, they do have a lovely cushion of RMR points. I want to make that clear. So it's not alarm bells necessarily. They got 1,640 in the bank account already. So just a top 11 finish in this EU RMR, and they will be at least attending the major at that lowest possible qualification spot.
Yeah, so in case you're new to this kind of format, we kind of all are.
Yeah.
There have been RMRs running for the better part of 2 years now, but previously that wasn't the way you qualified for majors. This is a new thing. We're going through the hiccups. We're seeing what's good and what's bad about it in front of everybody's eyes. But now, instead of coming top 8 at the previous major guarantees you a slot in the next one, you have to re-qualify. And that makes more sense, right? Because some of these majors, the teams who were coming top 8 and then getting an auto berth into the next one, they weren't the 8 best teams in the world.
And Chad, imagine if after a 2-year hiatus, we just invited the top 8 teams from Berlin. I mean, like...
Wouldn't that be ridiculous?
It would be complete chaos.
That would be mental.
How many of the best teams would just not be there?
Well, the Extreme Mums would be there, I'll give you that.
Extreme Mums.
The Extreme Mums would indeed be there.
The team that went from top 15 to top 90 over the course of this year.
They can still qualify for the major. They're actually in a really good spot over there in the North American RMR.
Some Aussies have qualified. I saw Hatz's tweet.
Yes, so Renegades today, just by beating ex-Direwolves, who are currently looking for an organization, if anybody wants to help those boys out. But by winning that game, it's given themselves enough of a buffer regardless of the result tomorrow against, I think... They still have to play, I think Order still has to play ex-Direwolves. I think it's a whole double elimination format. Regardless, that doesn't really matter. The whole point is that Renegades have qualified from Oceania. And I actually saw some information last night that maybe Australians can travel again soon. So they might even be able to make it out of the country to get to the event in what is, let me have a look, it's about 30 days time from now, because we're just in October. It's less than that. The major starts in 25 days. 25 days.
It is looming.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real.
No, it doesn't.
And this is the thing, right? For these guys, it's going to be starting to feel more and more real. But until you're on the plane, until you're on your way to that event, just considering the tumultuous nature of the last 2 years, It feels like a bit of a dream world, doesn't it?
It does, and I mean, let's not forget that it feels all the more real when not only are you playing LAN CS for qualification for it, but the arena you will be playing in is right outside your
You
window.
can look out the window.
You can see it. It's a ginormous, beautiful, I think it's the Globe, or now the Avicii Arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, stone's throw away from where they're currently competing, and we will get to see them once again taking back into the server. Still waiting on that missing heroic member, so I can imagine frustrations are mounting a little for Astralis just because of the fact you have to be mute, you know, no conversation to be had during a tech.
Yeah, awkwardly silent within that room. Everybody's sitting around you.
Like Dupree looks like he's waiting for a bus.
There's no typing, no keyboarding. You just got to sit in silence. You can see a couple of smirks on their faces, so maybe some grunts.
Yeah, I think last time I saw a tech time up for Astralis, Dupree started doing some real funky hand gestures.
Yes, I do recall. Well, let's catch you guys up to speed here. So out the gates, Heroic grabbed the T-sided pistol. They converted against the 4 spies, and it was looking really quite good. We thought, okay, well, maybe we get the Heroic with a bit of flair and pizzazz, but their quick reactions were punished by Astralis, who have come to play today. A lot of individuals with multi-kills. Dupree looking very, very good on this CT side. The Silence Den 4 is reigning supreme, and it was a strong CT half from Astralis there with a couple of last-ditch attempts from Heroic to get themselves 5 on the nose. Now we're back in the mix of things here on the T side. We've traded pistols. Astralis have been able to pick up theirs with the conversions, and it's Heroic's turn to show that they can have a strong CT side here. So it's not going to be the easiest of tasks.
Yeah, and that's a recap of what was and it's 10-5 half for Astralis. So don't forget, not only did Heroic choose to come to Nuke, they actually won the knife and chose to start on that T side, which is worth remembering in a best of one, you know, and especially in a high-stakes game such as this. Dupree had a really solid first half, finds himself on 22 frags here at round 21. And I am happy to report we have all 10 players back in the server.
That's the first step. And then the second step is getting the double thumbs up from Graham Messioso Pitt. He is in the building. Yeah. And after we get those thumbs up, we just need the unpause and that freeze time to start trickling on down. So shouldn't be too long now, everybody. This is a nice and tidy highlight package.
But come into the second half, a recap of what we have seen. Astralis, off the back of that 10-5 half, did take the pistol and its conversions, both the second and the third. But Heroic have only just started voicing some concerns. We saw, of course, the first round posted, Tessus mowing down the bonus over towards ramp room. Here it is.
You timed that well.
Didn't I?
I just like you knew it was coming.
Yeah, incredible. And we did see, of course, the 7th secured as well by Tessus, set up for success, peeking over the incendiary thrown by his teammates. But we did have a bit of an extended technical pause. We do appreciate your patience, just awaiting confirmation that we are getting back into this one. I'm afraid it's not quite ready to go yet. I hope Astralis have maintained their composure.
They look happy.
Certainly. Not everyone.
We go to Bubsky.
Bubsky's knees knocked out.
Dupree was looking happy. Yeah, look, I can see how he sits like that from time to time.
Me too. I mean, it's been a while since we had anyone that breaks the norm.
Yeah.
Like JDM strikes me as one.
We had Bondic.
Bondic,
yep.
Yeah. Sits like Smeagol at his computer.
Then we had like Elige with the perfect posture, right? He's on the other end of the spectrum, right? Elige just there with the keyboard perfectly placed, the spacing, the back nice and straight. I'm trying to think who else has some odd looking seating arrangements here. Obviously, a lot of gamers like to be close to their monitors these days. We have the Ropses, the Bits of the world. They like to be really, really close to their monitors.
Yeah, webcam fans, not a fan.
No, the forehead in full force. I think those kind of players are going to force us to have to change webcam positioning to no longer being front on. It's going to have to be on the side, on an angle. We're going to be talking a 45 here. Just not getting enough of the expressions. But with the hair being adjusted, the headset's going back on.
It's a good sign, isn't it?
A very, very good sign here.
I was speaking to Caden a little bit before. He was trying to give me a little bit of a download of any fun extra tidbits I'd have about the Heroic boys. He was telling me a bit about Tessus, telling me that he's the only member that's still on the old style of broadband, like everyone's on fiber and he's sitting on some sort of like copper cables.
Just where he lives?
In the middle of nowhere.
Okay. There's always one.
Yeah. As well as the fact that he's very particular, as in he has his routines. He does his same routine every single day in terms of his preparations. getting ready for the game. As in a similar vein to that of Searson, I was told that's one of the quirks of the German AWPer.
Now, there's some players who are like superstitious.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like it was only like it was joking, but when we had like a good, or when Justin JKS had a good game, it was like, all right, well, what did he eat? All right, let's get him a Mars bar. Let's get him a Dunkin' Donut. Does he have his coffee? You know, making sure that you can set the same win conditions up. But now that the players' mouths are moving, that does tell me we shouldn't be too long from getting this one started. Still yet to be unpaused in game. Having a quick look, Sinners have been able to topple Endpoint over there. That is a 16-9 scoreline, and they did battle on Ancient, so starting to get more and more playtime on Ancient, which is always good to see.
Chad, you know how we've got newer viewers?
Yes.
And it's kind of, we keep forgetting that some people have, only just kind of gotten into Counter-Strike over the last 2 years of online play. Like, they actually haven't seen how cool Counter-Strike can be.
That's true.
A lot of people are interested to know why they're wearing 2 headphones.
Ah, okay. So the noise cancelling element here. Now, when we do get back to arenas and venues, the crowd is very, very loud, and we don't want them to be able to hear any of that nonsense from outside, right? You want those in-ears for the sound and the over-the-top for the noise cancelling, but we'll stop all that right now. We'll get back underway, and we'll look at the top utility as Rushley's flying through the sky.
They found some aggression here. It looks like the call has been made. Cadian wants to set up to stabilize anything that they do throw Yard, and I suspect they are going to throw something Yard. Now, the Molotov did go out and spread. Both of them have given away a bit of a sound cue there. I don't know if it was audible. They are quite distanced away from the fray. Nade as well implies Heroic have been scouted out. You can see Stown plans to flash on Cadian's call just to get him out of there. Ooh, spotted him. Okay, well, that's information and damage exchange. Now they're ready to go for the wall of smokes. Astralis not going to slip up on that banana peel Heroic threw out.
They're pushing lobby now. They know that there's presence. Cadian's pushed forward. The flash was good, but...
Oh, that smoke's going to frustrate Zip. How's he supposed to hold his lobby now? He's been smoked out. He might have to go to the T roof. And now those smokes established. No information for them. Using these seconds provided by that round timer, not rushing things. And still no bloodshed. Couple of scraped knees, couple of boo-boos. Cadian playing the jiggle defense. Magis can't do anything about that.
Yeah, we'll get some molly damage back and actually pushes forward here. Cadian's very brave right now. He is low on HP. He cannot go down in this scenario. Otherwise, they will thrust forward with that bomb towards the lower site. More players rotating on over to help out the in-game leader of Heroic here, but we are sub 30 seconds right now. What are you doing, Astralis? Where are you going? How are you finishing this one? That's a good start from Zip.
Yeah, well controlled. And Refresh will tuck in. It's a predictable position. No Molotov on Bubsky, though, so well played from Shush. Keeps him at bay, attention drawn to the site. Molotov on Zip, but yeah, that's enough, and that could be round defining. They have to plant, but he's still on the site. Shush needs to deny this. He'll win the round, and Lucky saved them. Oh, a perfect defense. The 18-year-old playing very cool, calm, and he collects the double. Damn, that was about to be it, man. And just like that, Astralis recover.
That's a pressure moment right there.
High
the
pressure.
fact that teams are willing to play late round Counter-Strike, and we've seen so much of over the last couple of years, right? The pace of the game has truly changed. But the fact that a youngster right there stays poised and hits a must-hit shot to secure the round gets Astralis now up to 14, only 2 more required here. Touching distance getting even closer. Huge stuff from Lucky, and Cadian just left. He was the man who took the first contact, or at least the first damage towards that Yard position. He's the last man to survive.
I just think it's so impressive. Like, you haven't got Glaive. You know, you just once again have to reshape this coming into a qualification for the biggest event in 2 years, and you're making this game against your largest competitor in your group looking like light work. Lucky, you're pulling in from the Astralis talent pool, the Astralis youngsters, whatever, what's their official term?
I think it's Astralis Talent.
Okay, Astralis Talent, Astralis Rising, Astralis NXT, whatever the bloody hell you want to call
Young
them.
Ninjas, Fnatic Talent, Mouse NXT,
Gambit Youngsters.
VP Prodigy. They all have different names. I can respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's down one-on-one with Magis. Magis leaves with the frag and the dog tag. That's what it's called.
What were you thinking?
I was going to say leaves
body bag.
Yeah, but that's a bit far away.
He's not going to take the body with him.
No, why would he? He's got other priorities, like winning this round, round 22. Cadian responsible for ramp. Again, Astralis are happy with this kind of slow crawl.
It's just crazy that they were happy to play so late round, and now with a number advantage, they can do it again. The problem is they're very, very high risk maneuvers. All it's going to take is one player to get a multi-kill out of Heroic here, and the round is basically going to be stopped in its tracks. And Tessus is searching right now. The timing is good. Magis goes down. He's not going to get it. Oh, he is going to get away. The shot misses. Dupree steps around the corner. He gets 1.5 kills. Ooh. Bit of action now.
Yeah, Refresh needed that one to keep the round in play. And Heroic, this one, a bit of a necessity. Astralis within touching distance of converting this head-to-head. Bubsky has pulled them back into the lead. Finishing off what Dupree started, both leaning topside. Cadian aggressive, will be able to crawl and clear lobby at his own discretion. 35 seconds. Now, if they were to walk through lobby and go ramp, that is the path of least resistance. Let's see what the call is from Magisk.
Even out squeaky down the vent isn't bad because neither player can really contest that from here.
True. True. Molly and go, a flash for good measure. Shush still concerned about the yard presence, and oh, Cadian, yeah, he's surely dead to rights. Shush saves his life, double. Lucky forced into the clutch, he has to retrieve the bomb, doesn't have time for this. One more shot! Could have done it, but it's Cadian that locks it down for Heroic. A must win for the boys of Heroic on this defense. They all go down though, Chad. And Astralis stomaching that loss. They are a little broken. There will be some sacrifices in the AK department. Good shooting out of Tessus. It was Refresh as well with a crucial one onto Dupree.
Yeah, just hanging around a little bit too long on that jiggle right there, but this was great. Straight into Shush. The fact that both players were there, Cadian completely baited them into the focus on the heart. Shush from that rafter gets to rain pain down, and here we go again. Guns back out, as you mentioned. Zip is only going to be onto that Tech 9, but this one's a bit quicker off towards Secret. They will be getting across, taking a big chunk of damage there with that nade, and they're not silent about this. So Heroic know what's happening. They know what part of the map they've lost. It's just about recovering that.
Tessus has got so much in his earshot. Now, they are considering vents.
Is a vent to top?
It could be, considering Zivpex still lingers.
I think there's a gap vent to top right now.
If Magis could swing open the door and somehow kill that low site defender in Tessus, I mean, that would be very convincing. So is that wallbang. He actually tags him up. Threatening now. Now, the bomb is down on Dupree, so they are, as it currently stands, committing to B. Cadian's AWP should be good for a frag. Oh, but spotted out, pre-fired nicely, down to 10. Yeah, the molly could work. Tessus reveals himself. He is very low. Oh. Wow, what a find from Dupree. More impact from the Dane, and Magisk makes the pain even greater. Issues now, 40 seconds, and it doesn't seem like they're in any rush. Look at the walk around from Lucky. This could be a ramp flank. This could be a pivot top through vent. And speaking of flank, yeah, they're both not checking each other. No idea. Refresh hasn't even considered it.
Zip's coming back up. Lucky's gonna... Oh my lord!
Quick one out of Lucky. And Refresh yard is the call. Cadian's taken down Magis. This is a kooky round. Dupree still doing everything he can for Astralis. Now, that bomb was been on his back the whole time. Refresh down the vents to contest. I don't think he can deny the plant. He might have a go. Oh, no! Just in the nick of time. Dupree does punch in the final digit. Above your Refresh, doesn't consider it, and Lucky is delivering in buckets and spades.
Huge impact from this kid, right? Huge impact from him in this game. You've already seen it in 2 moments where the multi-kills from Lucky have secured the rounds here for Astralis, and now it's just one more necessary to get across the line. And really, in a situation where they haven't been sweating too much, so that impact is great, right? They haven't let it get close, because those rounds, imagine if they lost those scenarios, then we would have a game on our hands. Lucky has kept them away from having to worry here, kept that stress for another day. And it is just the Deagles to defend against 16 here for Heroic. Utility armor, it's in play, but this one is looking done and dusted right now. There's Mac 10s. It's going to be perfect to shred through the fact there's not a single set of head armor right now for Heroic.
This is going to be perfect for Astralis. 1,000 RMR points in the bank already. Coming into the RMR. And taking down Heroic will be their 3rd scalp of the full RMR as well. Set for a top 3 placing in their group. Big one on the nose of Magisk. Just Eagles. This is sometimes the hardest round to win. That usually hinges on something from the CTs, though.
I like the pace here from Astralis, right? The fact that they're waiting means that the CTs will have to bleed through their utility. They don't have a kit either, so they might start to feel desperate knowing that their buy is so light. You can see how up close and personal they are. if any of them get a little bit jittery and they push forward and maybe they walk into these AKs, that's going straight into Astralis' hands. That's exactly what they want here. And that was the last smokes now just burned towards ramp and that squeaky door. 35 seconds left and it's looking like a top split maybe is on the agenda here.
Bit of a lobby aggression just as Astralis vacate. They're coming in thick and fast. Good finds. Oh, the pistols. They all fill the feed. Astralis collapsing. Only Bubsky
Got the bomb.
partnered up with Magisk. Light on Util. Stown, the first bullet's a banger. Blinded now, and Stown finishes the job. 2 impactful frags to secure it, and even a weapon just a little shy to be collected. 2 AKs, but Heroic, they survive. They weather the storm, and now the advantage is theirs to at least close this gap.
Well-timed smoke, so at the end, right? I'm surprised they went towards ramp. Ramp was the smoke that dropped last, right? So that would have meant going through it or waiting for that to fade and the pressure on the clock right there. So everybody chiming in here, but Stown with the Scorcher. Because at this moment here, that is huge.
What?
That is mental,
What?
right? That is a big shot. Okay, well, the light buy on the other foot this time round. Out Hunt they go. Magisk leading the charge, jumping forward and denied. Shush will mop this one up with the MP9, and they're going to get themselves to double digits here.
It is the worst nightmare for someone going fast up when you not only are running through the molly, you see that HE following it up, then you're going through a grey screen into an MP9. It is just absolutely denied. Lucky you can just take a breather.
Yeah, all right, boys. We'll just use this one as a tactical timeout. Take a moment or two. Only one more round required here. However, Heroic, they're going to secure this one, I'm sure. Watch this. Oh, knife him. Do it.
Lucky.
Yeah. Oh! What? He's got the 6th sense, the Spidey senses tingling right here.
Oh, imagine if Lucky did something like this. A cheeky one to completely knock Heroic out. There's no way. There's no way. Lucky was staring at the wall.
He almost got knifed.
And now he's actually got a 1v2 with already a dinked down. Oh my God, it's a 1v1. Lucky. This would extend his contract. I mean, look at him go, making a very strong case to close it right here. He only had a Tech 9. Shush, red-faced after this one. Tess is starting to get a little sweaty in the palms. Now that bomb, ooh, it is retrievable if Tessus doesn't swing out. His timing is everything.
Oh, he didn't spot him. He didn't spot him.
And now there's a chance, just buying time. Will he go vents though? This could cost him. Oh my goodness. Lucky. Getting us all on the edge of our seats.
But look what it's done, right? Look, it would have been fantastic if they converted that. I would have been jumping for joy. What a round it would have been. But he's done so much bloody damage here. Look at the Tech 9 go.
Wow. What year is it?
Jeez Louise, great stuff here from Lucky. He's almost condemned Heroic down to this lower buy. Now, the problem is that was a full-on investment there from Astralis. So even though they did so much damage, they can't justify going for another force buy, considering the game may get close off the back of that. So unfortunately, down to the Glocks. What a stylish way that would have been to end things here.
Oh, I've got goosebumps. It didn't even happen.
He was looking fantastic there. Okay, well, it is just the Glocks. Oh, dear. Okay, it should. It will be 11. It will be 11. Not it should. It will be. And this is great for Heroic because now they're going to get a clean scenario out of this. Don't give up too many weapons. Don't allow the plant. You're going to have to be investing every single round. You know that you're up against the wall right here. And Shush, refresh. They're going to combine. They'll get this one done. And there's only 4 rounds the difference here. Only 4 rounds away from overtime. Second series of the day. Oh, complexity on the receiving end right now against the Riders. It's 10-4 in the first half of the CT side of Nuke over there. So the Spaniard's doing well. Having a great little showing. Alex with 18 kills to his name.
You know, we were speaking about how the if we invited the top 8 teams from the Berlin Major to this one, it would how kooky it would have been. I mean, look, if I showed you at Starlight Berlin Major the complexity roster,
oh yeah,
I mean, you'd have just been in complete disbelief. Oh, JKS playing with Cold Zera, playing with Plame F, playing with, I mean,
it's wild, isn't it?
And now Movistar Riders actually up to no good, so that's worth checking out. We have got 3 streams running simultaneously for this EU RMR. And we're getting into it, round 27, Heroic at least facing their fears. 3 in a row since they've been staring down the barrel of match point.
Does it end here? That's the question.
Certainly could. Back to what was working. At least on the Astralis camp, it was Magis working his red container, working secrets. Down was keeping him honest. The wall of smoke's likely to follow shortly. Tessus is going to be in his same position where he did rumble their last project in Yard.
Smoke's being lined up here from spawn as well, so they're going to be tossed on out. Looks like the diagonal wall again. Tessus going to peer on up, so there's that Molotov thrown out by the CTs. That's great for Tessus to pick behind, and he does again. Damage done both ways. Magic survives here, but just Tessus' nade finishes him off, and there's the opening for the CTs, so cop that.
All the way from Secret, solid trajectory out of him.
It just makes it so awkward because your silo player can't see through that smoke.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a Astralis original. Well, Cadian is going to be the source of information ramp. Will he have a glance? Will he have a look? He will. Nothing to report, and he was holding the drop ramp, so now they suspect top or Yard. No information in that regard, and he's actually just abandoned his post. Dupree, the first to take contact, and he spots out, I think, at least one on that site. There's more to be done. Shush does hold his nerve and hold his spray. Heroic getting back into this and doing so cleanly. Damn, just like that, a spotless defense. Heroic are fiending for OT.
Picking up some momentum now, and again, just from the back of the site there, 3 silenced M4s behind the silos, just taking jewels and winning them all. Been able to upgrade into a couple of AKs going forward, but here it is again, right? Nobody top silo to help deal with Tessus, so with that Molly and the teammates to help him, they get what feels like a free opening. We're going to see a change, because we are seeing definitely one over there in the Heroic camp. They're getting fired up, and frustration has to be starting to mount right now. If you are an Astralis player, you're not getting anything done. You have to take another light buy. You go hard towards top, and you get dispelled pretty easily. U2 holds you back. Spam slows you down. And you just have to hope that the Deagles are offered up some heads here to pop, because the scoreline is likely looking at the 15 to 13 mark, and then Astralis, next round of play, they're going to have the max loss bonus. They're going to be finding themselves in a position where, yeah, as long as they get plants, they'll be able to buy for the remainder of the game. But that's it. They have to get plants. And if they keep going slow, they keep losing the opening pick, that becomes less likely.
This is the quietest game out of Zip so far we've seen. He's actually been on a bit of a tear since arriving and plugging in his mouse and keyboard here at LAN. Everyone else on Strahd is looking fantastic, and Magisk is the first victim, at least to some bullets and damage. However, Dupree's dig elsewhere does connect. You can see the corpse of Cadian in that garage forces Stown out of main, and to be responsible for that.
I think Bubsy's hoping he got dropped the deagle there for a second. Hey, Magisk, you're low. Can I have a go?
He's still staring at him like, any interest?
Hey boss.
Like, I'm not going to ask, but like, if you were thinking about it. All right, to the top side. Good angle from Shush, just as they're starting to clear alternate angles.
Guys, you have to die. Make sure you die.
You do need to die.
Please do die.
Well, they'll try and maybe get down the vents. That could be something. Ooh, okay. Problem solved. Refresh puts 4 in the feed over the course of that round. That's 28 concluded. And it is, what a trot from Heroic. They've picked up, what has it been? 6 of the last 7 rounds of play since that extended pause.
This has been good for Refresh in the second half, right? He's shown up in a big way here, so this is good. This is what you want to see. Compulsory stuff from him. A couple have been eco bashes, but regardless, someone has to get the kills. I know that people are usually frothing at the mouth to find them, but in today's Counter-Strike, they're hard to get. Smoke's being lined up again here. Maybe something a little bit pacier for Astralis. They've run out of rounds to really mix it all up. These slower rolls haven't been working, and now it's just a bit of a fake towards the yard position. Smokes will bloom.
They really want to punish top.
It's looking like there's 3 players close enough to deal with this as well. So if Astralis have thrown out all those smokes and they don't get a move on here, the answer to the questions will be in Heroic's favor soon.
Oh, they're buying it. At least a little. The fact that we're seeing a 2-man ramp progress, it could be the perfect call, you know? Top site util being thrown. This is supposed to fake out a top push, and it has... Oh, he hasn't bought it. Tessus is there, baiting in Shush perfectly. Oh, 3. Perfect defense from Heroic, and they send Astralis right back to spawn. This reeks of overtime now, Chad.
This is a yikes now. I've just gone back and I've had a little bit of look. There haven't been any plants. As I mentioned, the max loss bonus is good, but you can't get the full buy without it. And then you take a little bit of look at the rounds in terms of the kills that are coming on through. Out of the spree of rounds that they've been able to post so far, only 1 of them has been remotely competitive. 3 of them have been complete shutouts.
I mean, what's amazing to me is that the complexity of what Astralis just laid down, and Heroic were having none of it. You just faked wall smokes. No info, by the way. Stown doesn't have a look. No info behind that wall of smokes. Top util is being thrown, someone's committing top site, and you still have 2 on ramp.
And here's the bigger problem that I have now with the pace of the game from like a broader step back and look at the way that this has all been paced out on the T side. What haven't Astralis done? Something fast on a gun round. What are they likely to do now to hit that big red button? Something a little bit pacier here on the gun round. So if you're Heroic, you got to have that in the back of your mind. The orders have to be coming out from KD and boys. Be ready for something fast. You know, they might be going for something quick. Let's see.
4 AK-47s, Chad. Things are really shaping up nicely for Heroic's second half here. In response to a 10-5 half of Astralis, they're looking to match it. Oh, a good flash. Cadian didn't get caught out. Magic's so low, and he loves this angle that's down. Bit of a gap as well.
Manufactured.
Created that themselves. A duel with Dupree. He wins it with the Galil. They are tagged. Very vulnerable now and starting to surge towards the Hell in Heaven position.
This is threatening.
But yeah, is it hell for Heroic? Or Astralis. Zip trying to hold this hut position. It's a lot of responsibility on his shoulders here because Tess is coming in from Trophy. They're pushing from every angle. He's only got a bloody Mac 10, but Lucky's there to bodyguard. And now suddenly only 2 members of Heroic. Astralis was so close. The bomb's now going down. Lucky is doing it all for the boys. And so close to forging this comeback. Astralis have managed to make it across the line. Only Cadian, he's gone 16-14. Back-to-back LAN wins in the head-to-head. Astralis take down Heroic and take another big step towards the major.